English Nomad here, and in today's episode I'm just going to bring you up to date with how the Australian adventure is going. It's been 2 weeks since I set off on this journey, which is to travel around Australia in a clockwise direction. I'm currently heading north and I'm staying in the town of Karratha. Karratha is in the Pilbara region of Western Australia, an area which is well known for its mining activities. It's a mining town. There is oil and gas connection as well. There's a very large oil and gas processing facility here in Karratha. And also it's a staging point for the export of one of the key minerals mined in Western Australia, which is iron ore. Most of the iron ore that comes out of the Pilbara region goes to China, Korea and Japan, the main customers for this commodity. So that's where I'm staying at the moment, and I've been here for the last 3 days. This is my last day. I'm going to be leaving here tomorrow and continue going north towards Broome. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take me. But one thing that I have learned is I need to try and slow down a little bit. I guess because I've come from a very high pressure corporate type of environment in my working life, I tend to be sort of push on is my mantra, where I'm now realizing I need to recalibrate my brain and take my time, you know, have a look around and smell the roses, as the expression goes. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be taking my time. I'm going to be looking in on all of the nice little spots along the coastline I'm going to be seeing, and hopefully I can share some of those with you in my upcoming videos. So that's where I am right now. So a couple of points I wanted to cover off on is, first of all, what am I doing to find places to stay? Well, I bought a book which is the Camps 9 book, which is a really good reference guide for a lot of the campsites. But also I'm using Wikicamps, and in fact Wikicamps has become my default way of finding campsites, especially if I'm looking for nice either free or cheap campsites. It's a really great resource. It's an app. You can get it from the App Store or from your if you're Android, wherever you get your Android apps from, you can get it on that particular store as well. And I think from memory it's about $5, but it's well worth the money, because what I found is it's great to be able to see other campers' reviews of those campsites. So you know, you can give it a star rating up to 5 stars, and the average is then what it is. So if it's got a 4-star rating, generally it's pretty good. If it's less than 4 stars, there's usually issues, and most of the issues are related to things like people leaving rubbish and stuff like that. So Wikicamps is good because you can read the comments that other campers have made about that particular campsite. You can also look at photographs that people have taken of the campsite, and you can see the dates that the comments were made. So if you're rocking up somewhere 2 weeks after someone else has been there and they're saying it's really good, the chances are when you get there it's still going to be really good. If you're looking at comments from 2 years ago, the place may have improved or may have deteriorated. So you got to take that in mind when you look at the comments and you look at the ratings that people give. But I give it a really big thumbs up. Wikicamps, it's been absolutely amazing. I found some cracking little campsites, and some free ones that have been absolutely spectacular. So I'll continue using Wikicamps as my default way of finding campsites, and then if I can't see anything, then I'll revert to other methods. The next thing, fuel. I'm getting fairly good fuel economy out of this, so I'm not having to fill up as often, and I've got the bigger fuel tank. I'm getting a range in excess of 1,000 kilometres on the road, on tarmac, but I do have to fill up. And I'm using an app which is Fuel Map Western Australia. I'm sure there's other fuel maps available for different states, but this one's specifically for Western Australia. And what I found is it's very, very accurate. I generally look ahead at the various towns I'm going to be passing through and compare prices. When I know that I've got 300 k's of fuel left, I'm looking ahead and seeing where's going to be cheapest to fill up. And what I find is the information's very accurate. So if they say it's 154.9 at a particular fuel station, when I get there it is 154.9. So it's very, very accurate, and you can actually look what the price is going to be tomorrow and what the price was the previous day, so you can track any trends if the price is going up or going down. The only issue I have had with the app is I did arrive in Carnarvon, and the cheapest place that it had on the map for some reason was one of those self-serve with the kiosks where you put your card in and you prepay for the fuel before you put it in the vehicle. Well, for some reason the kiosk wasn't working, so although it was the cheapest place, I couldn't get the fuel from there. And just to put it into perspective, I think it was around 5 cents a litre cheaper than everywhere else in Carnarvon. And I put in 120 litres, so you know that adds up. That's just over $6 extra that I paid for my fuel in Carnarvon, just because that particular place wouldn't for some reason take my card, and I tried both cards, but for some reason the kiosk just wasn't reading the cards. So yeah, they're great, those self-serve kiosks where they're unattended, but you know, just bear in mind you can't rely on them if you can't pay for your fuel. So so always have a backup plan. Always allow yourself some opportunity to find fuel elsewhere if you're relying on one of those places to get your fuel, because if your card doesn't work there, you're pretty stuffed. So so that's something worth taking on board. So while I've been in Carafa, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been doing a few modifications to the camper to address some issues that I've found in the first couple of weeks. So I'll walk you through those modifications, and then I'll come back to you very shortly, and we'll do a wrap up. So one of the things that I've done, which you can see just down here, is I've put on an external power socket, which is just the normal cigarette lighter type socket for connecting my outside lights, because what I had to do was feed the cable through the door, and I kept tripping over the cable. This is a lot better solution. It's wired directly to the fuse box in the camper, so it's been wired up correctly, and it also has a twin USBs as well, so I've got somewhere to charge my phone when I'm sat out here and relaxing in the evening. I can just plug my phone straight into there and charge it up, or charge my iPad up from this point here. So that was one of the little jobs I've done while I've been here. I'll take you inside now and I'll show you some of the work I've been doing on the inside, which has made it a lot more livable for me in terms of being more comfortable at night. Okay, so we're just on the inside now. I'll just explain what I've been doing. Now, for those of you who followed the build of this camper, I had placed my bed in the, I guess you'd call it the roof space, in the pop top portion, so that I was sleeping up on a raised bed, which in theory sounded like a really good idea, but in practice it wasn't very comfortable. It was quite claustrophobic, and I'll show you this space. So where you see that cargo net now, there was two decks. which were an aluminium frame with plywood on them with 2 mattresses, and having the bed up there meant that I was awfully close to the roof, and I kept banging the fan up there. You can see the fan up there. I kept banging my knee and banging my head, and oh yeah, so in theory it sounded like a really great idea, but in practice it wasn't particularly comfortable. And the other thing was, Bronson, who likes to get on the bed with me, you know, he would I had to lift him up there and lift him down, and it was a real pain in the ass. And some would say, well, why don't you just make the dog sleep on the floor? Well, I guess I've made a rod for my own back, and he sleeps better when he's close to me. So yeah, that's the reason for that. Anyway, so what I did is I've fitted the cargo net. You can see the cargo net just there. Well, that cargo net goes all the way across, and the only reason that's there is just somewhere for me to store the cushions that I'm not using when I've got the bed made. So I'll just show you where the bed is now. What I did is I made a board which straddles across the 2 halves of the seating area, and that board then supports the cushions, and then the mattresses go on top. It's actually really comfortable. So now I've got a really nice big bed space, and once it's made, I just leave it like that. I'm not gonna, unless I have visitors and I need to have the seating arrangement set up again, I'm leaving it like that for the most part. Excuse all the camera gear on the bed. I've put all my bags and that on there while I was setting up my cameras for this particular shoot. But yeah, it's a really comfortable setup now, and I've actually saved some weight in the vehicle because I've got rid of some of the surplus items that were part of the old setup, so that saved me a little bit of weight. Gizmo's really comfortable in here. She's actually found a nice spot. If I can just get down here and show you where she is, you might just be able to see her. She's lay on top of my beer. Just see her there. It's a bit dark. Anyway, yeah, the animals are settling really well now. Gizmo, she complained for the first week about being on a harness and about travelling in the vehicle, but I've figured out that she likes to be sat on the centre console in the car, so I've made a little bed for her there, and she sits in between the 2 seats, the passenger seat and the driver's seat. Bronson's on the passenger seat, and he's really enjoying it. He's enjoying meeting new people. He's outside most of the time, so he's watching what's going on, and he's having a ball. He spends an awful lot of time when we're on the coast, playing in the sand and playing on the beach. So yeah, he's having a great time. So I think that will probably do it for this video. Just to close, I'll say that I'm probably going to be putting another video out in the next few days. I'll try and ramp up my video production. I've probably been a bit lazy, but I've been treating the first couple of weeks as an holiday. I need to get out of that mindset. I need to start doing some work on the channel and getting more videos up so that people can see what Australia has to offer. It's an amazing country, and what I've seen so far is just scraping the surface. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Like, share this video. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe, and don't forget to click the little bell icon so that you get the notifications. And as I previously said, comment below. Until next time, Mike, signing off. See you later, guys.